For this week's SMTV News, bridging the gap between law enforcement and locals at the top of the show. We'll take you to an event in Hub City that does just that.
Now, on our campus, USM's Honors Forum hosted Ed Young as part of their speaker series. SM2 Suvi Lama has more on the story.
All of this and more on SMTV. SMTV News for Thursday, September 26th starts right now.
From the Chuck Scarborough Television Studio on the campus of the University of Southern Mississippi, this is SMTV News. News you can use.
What's going on, Golden Eagles? I'm Bethal Miles here with
Kennedi Drake, and here are our top news stories for today. The community was deep in Town Square part this past Friday. The city of Hattiesburg hosted its annual National Night Out event, a collaboration with first responders in the town favorite. Live at 5, my co-anchor, Mr. Miles, was there capturing the bridge being built.
Kids, cops, and community.
Well, you might want a fan.
Claps, more kids, and a lot of unity.
I think it's important, for one, for families.
It's Grandma Marta's opinion.
They're my grandkids, and we're having a blessed day.
To her, a function like this is here.
To show that law enforcement's not all bad.
Good music. Great movement. Next to our furry friends. Free hugs. Free gifts. The sound of whistles bounce around at events like this. There's no I in team.
We are the community, and the community are us.
But here's the best play.
We work together to help solve issues and problems before they arise. And then that way you don't have the major issues and problems, hopefully.
Hope and hard work are the foundation for building unity. Building bridges in downtown with thousands. SM2 News.
Yeah, listen, stories like that are the ones that hit closest to home because you're really out in the community. Next up, for the first time at Southern Miss, a study abroad program has been hosted just for chemistry. This class will take place during the January intersession, and it's planned to be 2 weeks long.
The University of Southern Mississippi is hosting a study abroad program in chemistry in January intersession. This will be the first chemistry study abroad class hosted by the university, and the class will take place in the first 2 weeks of January in London and Oxford. The class will be a combination of museum visits, guest speakers, lectures by the course coordinator Dr. Jonathan Hubroom, and some walking tours.
So I want students to join me in this history of chemistry class, traveling to the United Kingdom, which will be offered during the January intersession between January 2nd and January 18th. So we'll travel to some really awesome chemistry sites and study some amazing contributions to the history of chemistry.
The students will receive 3 credit hours in chemistry department for completing the course. The credits can also be used towards a chemistry minor. The class is currently under the code Chemistry 492, which is for special problems in chemistry, and could be getting its own course number if the class goes well. The class could also be taking place every other year if it was successful this time. The students enrolled in the course also seem to be excited about learning the history of chemistry.
Personally, I'm really excited to go to the Royal Institute. I'm excited to see old laboratory notebooks, as well as how, 19th century labs were kept, because I'm in a lab right now, and it would just be, it would be cool to see the difference in technology.
To be eligible for the class, students have to have completed 12 credit hours of classes and at least a 2.25 GPA. They also need to be able to walk 15,000 to 20,000 steps a day, because the class will be very travel heavy.
To reach 500 appearances in anything is amazing in its own right, but to do it as a sports broadcaster is a massive achievement. John Cox reached his 500th game calling Southern Miss football. Devin Whitson has more on the story.
While some may have thought it was just another game a few Saturdays ago for the Golden Eagles against Southeastern, it was a special game for John Cox, the voice of the Golden Eagles, who would call his 500 game as the voice of Southern Miss football.
Well, I sort of thought, how in the world did I get the 500 games? You know, I started my first one back in 1978. So that's what, 47 years or so ago, something like that. And it made me kind of reflect back to all those years and all the great games that I've been a part of at Southern Miss.
While Cox doesn't have a favorite game from all of his years of calling Golden Eagle sports, but there's one game that sticks out. As in 1982, when the Golden Eagles went into Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa and beat legendary head coach Bear Bryant and the Alabama Crimson Tide 38-29, that broke a 57-game winning streak for the Tide at home, which at the time Cox says was pretty exciting. As Cox goes into his 47-year calling games, he becomes the third longest active play-by-play broadcaster in the nation, as a 6-time Mississippi Sportscaster of the Year embarks on another season of Golden Eagle athletics. But if there's one thing that Cox loves, it's that game day feeling.
I love to get to the game early. Now, sometimes we're traveling on the road and you're kind of traveling with a team and you can't get there as early as you want. But, you know, a home game at the Rock, I usually will get there. If it's a 6 o'clock game, I'm usually there by 8:30 in the morning. Sometimes I'm one of the first guys there, but I like to go up there and just sit in the radio booth and I'll study a little bit. I'll check the equipment, do things like that. But I just love the atmosphere.
This has been Devin Whitson for Southern Miss TV.
All right, listen, I try not to be biased because as a journalist, that's not what we do, but this next story comes from one of my favorites. USM's Honors Forum hosted Ed Young as a part of their speaker series. SM2's Suvi Lama has more on the story.
Science journalist Ed Young captivated audiences at Bennett Auditorium on September 17, 2024, as part of the Honors Forum Speaker Series. The event began at 6:30 p.m., where Young explored the fascinating world of animal senses and challenged the understanding of perception. Young, a former staff writer at The Atlantic and recipient of the Pulitzer Prize, is known for translating complex scientific concepts into accessible narratives for the general public.
I have been a longtime fan of Ed Young. I started reading his blog like 20 years ago, and I really have enjoyed his writing and think he just does an amazing job of communicating about science and the stories and the process and the information. And when I found out he was coming here, I got really excited to come and see him in person.
Something grand and remote and distant from our lives, something like.
And both of us actually have a little bit of a history with being interested in journalism, so we're really interested to hear about him and to kind of know what it would be like if we have chosen that path, you know?
I just feel like for me, there's not a lot of information out there about like journalism, like what people do with that kind of degree. So I'm actually really interested to see like what he like talks about and like his like education and his like history of everything.
As the world continues to face global challenges that require scientific understanding, voices like Young's play a crucial role. For SM2's Suvi Lama.
Coming up after the commercial break, we have our SMTV weather report and flash news briefing.
Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Right back.
I work.
I work.
I work. And I want to keep working.
I work for the challenge.
Because people are counting on me to provide for my family.
And I'm employed today because we work together.
Work together.
Work together. When my life changed in an instant.
When I got hurt.
Needed support.
We made a plan.
So I could come back strong.
So I could stay in the game. Because we couldn't succeed without it.
It wasn't a matter if I could go back to work.
It was a matter of when and how.
Because working works.
Working works.
It lets me earn a living.
Be there for the team. Together, we made a plan to keep me on the field for 2,632 games in a row.
To keep me working.
America works best when all Americans can work. Ensuring workers can stay on the job or return to work following an injury or illness is essential to America's economy. To learn more, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Welcome back to SMTV. I'm Rachel Brox, your SMTV weather reporter. Let's get straight into it. Today's high will be at 84 degrees and the low is going to be at 63 degrees. It's going to be a mostly cloudy day today with only a few spots of sunshine mixed in. So there is only a slight chance of rain at 21%, as you can see. Now onto our 5-day forecast. Friday is going to be a partly cloudy day with a high of 82 degrees and a low of 64 degrees. Saturday will leave some of those clouds behind and will be mostly a sunny day. Saturday's temperatures will be at 87 degrees as the high and the low will be at 64. Now Sunday is going to be at 88 degrees and the low will be at 65. Sunday is only going to have a few clouds in store for us. And now lastly on Monday we will have a high of 88 degrees and a low of 65. Monday skies will be mainly sunny, however there will be a few clouds. Now let's look at our rain chances for this week. Friday starts us off with a low chance of 15%. Saturday has the same chances as Friday. Now Sunday will drop down to 12%, and then Monday will round us out to 13%. So all in all, you don't have to worry about rain this week. Thank you so much for joining me for your SMTV weather report. I'm Rachel Brox. Now on to more news with Kennedi and Bethal.
Thank you so much for that weather report, Rachel. It's always a blessing to hear from you. Now let's dive into our flash news briefing. In local news, some residents out in Jones County are having a tough time because they're under a boil water notice after a water line break on Monday morning. The Arita Water Association announced that all of its 316 customers are under a boil water notice. Now, if you are looking to consume water in the county for cooking or other services, Arita says you need to boil the water for a minute, and the notice will stay in place until further notice.
In state news, a 15-year-old Mississippi girl was found guilty of murdering her mother this past Friday. Carly Madison Gregg is sentenced to life in prison without parole, as stated by jury. Gregg also attempted to murder her stepfather. The 15-year-old will serve 10 years as well for tampering with evidence. During closing arguments, the prosecutor asked the jury to push for the maximum sentence, stating Gregg shows zero remorse for what she has done. The prosecution's closing argument is she knew exactly what she did.
Now, over in national news, we're going to take it over to Alabama for some sad news. A shooting in Birmingham has left 4 people dead and 17 injured last Saturday. That's according to officers that also say it happened in a local neighborhood. Now, leaders of this neighborhood say the shooting influences them to push for stronger gun laws in Alabama. One of the laws is for the use of these Glock switches. They're basically devices that can turn a semi-automatic pistol into a fully automatic one. State and local leaders say they are divided on the issue, while city officials call for more strict regulations. Now, we still have SM2 Sports and Community Calendar.
Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. SMTV will be right back.
Deciding who to vote for is important. There are people, organizations, and foreign adversaries trying to trip us up, manipulate our views, and redirect or even discourage our vote. Whether it's bogus claims designed to stop us from voting or convincing digital fakes trying to sway our opinions, we all need to double-check our facts. Watch out for phrases that frequently accompany political disinformation like "make this go viral" or conspiratorial statements like "the media won't cover this." It's your vote, not theirs. Use it wisely. Be informed, not misled.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dad. Happy birthday to you.
What are you going to wish for, Grandpa?
Don't just wish you had taken care of your hearing loss. Take action today. Visit Act Now on hearing.com to learn the signs and find an ASHA-certified audiologist near you.
Hello and welcome back to SMTV. I'm Emily Blue here with this week's community calendar. Tonight at 7 p.m. at the Mahogany Bar, the Royal Horses is playing. On Friday at 5 p.m. in Town Square Park, Grits and Greens will be performing at Live at 5. On Saturday at 8 p.m. at the Grill and Grocery, Blue Mother Tupelo will be performing. So much wonderful live music to be heard this weekend, it seems like. On Friday is the Fall Garden Day. Admission is free and will be hosted in the Forest Co. Exit building. Guest speakers such as Larry Stevenson and Felder Rushing will be featured, and activities such as plant sales, silent auctions, and door prizes are also included. On Friday and Saturday is the 19th annual Historic Mobile Street Renaissance Festival. There will be a street fair, food vendors, and a cook-off competition, and live entertainment. This weekend is filled with a ton of fun events with free admission. It's fun to play tourist in your own city. We have sports and entertainment left in our news report, so stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. But before we go to our commercial, our producers at SM2 have a weekly trivia for you.
Is it Mount Everest?
Mount Everest?
Mount Everest?
Everest?
Mount Everest.
Mount Everest?
206.
It's like 132. It's not.
206?
206?
206.
120?
Yellow. No, almost said something very wrong. Green and red.
Red, yellow, green.
Red, yellow, green. Red, yellow, green.
Red, green, yellow.
Red, green, yellow.
Mars?
Mars. Mars.
It's Mars, right?
Mars?
Mars? If you're counting external organs, I guess skin counts.
Skin.
The skin?
And is it the kidneys or the brain? Intestine?
Skin?
Skin.
Not a clue. The skin? They consider the skin an organ? I ain't never heard of it. That's crazy.
It may sound funny, but hearing actually happens in our brains, not our ears. Our ears are like mail carriers that deliver sound, so our brains can figure out what's going on. So what is going on? Well, it's pretty simple. When our ears work better, our brains hear better. And that's a happier thing. Like Happy Dance, happier.
Hearing loss puts you at greater risk for dementia. So see a hearing professional and let's get those ears checked.
Good afternoon, Golden Eagles. I'm your SMTV sports anchor, Devin Whitson, and we have an action-packed sports segment for you, so let's get right into it. Kicking off with football, our Golden Eagles had their last non-conference matchup this past Saturday as they traveled to Jacksonville State to take on the Jacksonville Gamecocks. Now, the Golden Eagles lost this matchup in blowout fashion, 44-7. Although things were bleak for the Golden Eagles, all hope is not lost as freshman quarterback John White took the field in place of Tate Rodemaker during the first quarter of play. Now, the Golden Eagles will have time to rest and recuperate as they have a bye week and look ahead to the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana next week here at MM Roberts Stadium. Now over to the pitch, our Lady Eagles open conference play with a long road trip to James Madison, where they didn't get the result that they hoped for, falling 7-2. Now luckily, the Eagles will be back home this Sunday on the 29th at 1 p.m. for a match against Texas State. The game will be free for all spectators and there will be concessions, so let's all come out Sunday afternoon and cheer our Lady Eagles to a win. Now digging into volleyball, our Lady Golden Eagles stayed in state this past weekend as they traveled to take on Jackson State, in which the Eagles swept all 3 sets. And also this weekend, the ladies had another in-state test as they traveled to Start Vegas to take on the Lady Bulldogs. Now our volleyball team didn't leave Starkville successful, but looked to bounce back with the start of conference play against the UL Monroe Warhawks this Friday and Saturday in Monroe. Now, for the past couple weeks, a player of the week has gone to a football player, but this week it is still going to a football player, but a different kind, as our player of the week is Rebecca Vega. Now, Vega has been balling out this season with a gold open conference play against JMU and also being selected to represent Venezuela in the U20 FIFA World Cup. So way to go, Rebecca. Now, this has been your SMTV Sports Report. I'm Devin Whitson. Until next time, Southern Miss.
I am so sorry I was late. I was at the retina specialist getting my first AMD treatment. I was worried that the injection would hurt, but it was much better than I expected.
Did you go to the same retina specialist that I see for my diabetic retinopathy?
Yes, and I am so glad I didn't wait.
When your vision is at risk from retinal disease, you need the expertise of a retina specialist. If you experience blurred central vision, a curtain-like shadow in your vision, floaters, flashing lights, or wavy lines, see a retina specialist.
High THC products can cause cannabis-induced psychosis and come with increased risks of suicidal thoughts, planning, and attempts.
Just Say No, KNOW. Go to justsayno.org today for the facts.
Now, today in entertainment, we're keeping you informed on movies coming out soon that you guys might be interested in. First up on our list is the new prequel to The Lion King that dives into the backstory of our famed character Mufasa. This photorealistic animated film, named after its main character, focused on the origins and trials he had to face before he became the wise character we know today. The movie isn't scheduled to come out until December the 20th, but be on the lookout for new trailers and things on the release.
The next movie on our radar is Joker, Fully Adore. The R-rated film is about the character Arthur Fleek struggling with his Joker persona after being institutionalized. Along the way, he may find his true love. This film is also a musical, which surprised many interested audience members. You can see the new Joker movie on October 4th in a theater near you.
I was a little surprised to see that it was a musical too, but this last movie for today is the third of the Venom saga. This movie is called The Last Dance. This movie follows Eddie and Venom as their world closes around them, and both are pushed to make a final decision that could lead to their last dance. The movie is set to release on October the 25th.
It's time for Southern Miss Today, presented by WUSM, the radio division here at Southern Miss Student Media.
All right, Southern Miss, we've got something really special for you today. Joining us is a guest who's been making a tremendous impact through the power of music and community. Let's give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to the incredible Tim Grave, a passionate leader in the LGBTQ choir community. Tim, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here with us today. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing great. We're truly excited to have you here to talk about the amazing work you're doing, using music as a tool to unite, inspire, and create a sense of belonging for so many. Let's dive right in and hear more about your journey in the incredible choir community you've built.
Yeah, I'm excited. Pine Belt, the Pine Belt Rainbow Choir. I started it because there's community choirs around, but not everybody feels welcome. And so we wanted to make everybody feel welcome. No, you don't have to be LGBTQ, but we want you to be LGBTQ friendly.
Right.
And so everybody of all ages is welcome to come and sing. There's no tryouts.
Okay.
We're just going to let everybody, join us. So, you can go to our Facebook page and, message us there so we can get a good number of people. And then we've got a local church that we're trying to work out the details right now to practice at their church.
Okay.
And so we're excited about that. We're probably going to put 3 concerts on a year is what our plan is. We wanted to get something done quickly for Christmas, but that's not going to happen. So we're going to do a spring, a summer, and then a Christmas concert is what our plan is right now. So,
what challenges have you faced while building and leading a queer choir, and how have you overcome them throughout time?
Back to the what are we going to see at a concert? You get I've got a lot of negative feedback. From community people. Oh, we don't need that here. That's not welcome here. Go on somewhere else. And I just keep on going and trying to make an impact. I'm a person that if I come to an obstacle, I'm going to go try to climb over it and go around it. And you have a few people in the community that, I don't like it. And I just say to them, if you don't like it, then don't come.
Yeah.
Don't participate. I respect your opinion. You need to respect, ours and what we want to do with our voices and make a difference.
Absolutely. Now, I just want to thank you so much, Tim Gray, for joining us today and sharing your incredible work with the LGBTQ community choir. We truly appreciate your passion and dedication to fostering inclusivity through the arts. Keep up the amazing work, and we can't wait to see how the choir continues to inspire and bring people together.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course, absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for always sticking with us to the end of the show here. Kennedi, I feel like as the semester is rolling, people are feeling a lot more comfortable and getting excited because the semester is almost over.
Yes, they definitely are, and I think the viewers are going to appreciate it a lot. They're going to want to watch the show and be entertained.
Man, one thing I love about journalism is that you can put your own personality into storytelling. It's the best creative mode.
It is, and it makes people want to watch more and just have a connection with the person that they're watching.
See, bro, that's why you my dog, bro. You get it, you get it. Hey, y'all, thank you so much for watching SMTV, and make sure to visit our social media pages, like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Southern Miss Student Media. If you would like to submit a tip to us or let us know about a story, email us at sm2news@usm.edu.
Also, if you would like to advertise with SM2 Media, please reach out to Joshua Wilson at joshua.wilson@usm.edu. You can find all of these stories and more on our website, sm2media.com. That's it for Southern Miss TV. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you on our next newscast. Always remember, Southern Miss to the top.